This episode is sponsored by SKS Luxury Appliances. If you've spent time around Signature Kitchen Suite, one thing designers notice right away is the technology. The interface feels familiar and intuitive because it's the same engineering that comes from LG, the company that produces the systems used in many of the luxury vehicles people drive today. Clients recognize it instantly and know how to navigate it, but SKS is also investing in designers through their Designer Rewards program and by sponsoring IDC. If you're specifying kitchens for serious cooks, give SKS a look. Learn more at sksappliances.com. SKS, built for people who truly love cooking. Hi, I'm Laurie with To the Trade for Interior Design Community. I have Niall with me. Hi, Niall.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
It's sunshine here, so I'm happy.
No snow. That's great, right?
No snow. It's like we got snow last week, Rhobin. We have Rhobin DelaCruz here. He is the coolest. If you don't know him now, you need to be following him. We're going to make sure his links are in everything that we have out there. He's an interior designer, but I'm going to let him tell his story. Rhobin, why don't you explain a little bit about who you are and, what you do?
Rhobin DelaCruz. I am owner of Rhobin DelaCruz Designs. I have been designing for 18 plus years. I started out in residential, but I do now do residential, commercial, and vacation rental design.
Did you start the
Nice.
rental with Jessica Deuce?
No, I was doing it before that, but I attended VRD and I am a
Yeah.
VRD member. Yes.
I love it, by the way. I mean, I don't think it's just for I'm just like bringing it up. Jessica's, first of all, so smart, so
Mhm.
cool, adore her. But also, I think it's misnamed, in my opinion, because like one of the best features about vacation rental designers is that she negotiates as a collective for all of the members for their accounts with brands.
Correct.
So her members, let's just say there's 200 members, and a lot of them are buying from Hooker Furniture.
Mhm.
She might go, and I'm just saying that because Cameron Sellers for Hooker was on a panel with me at VRD, so I can assume she's part of that. So they would go and say, to our 20 members did this much business with you. What can you do for pricing? And it's not like a buying group layer where they have to buy through someone else. They're buying directly through the company, but they get they get that collective negotiation. That's what I
Correct.
think is pretty
Yes.
cool.
Nice.
I think
Yeah.
that's really
Nice.
smart. You know what I mean? I think that coming to the table every year and having someone renegotiate on your behalf as part of your group, but you still own that account directly is really great. I love that she's doing that. It gives people a lot of empowerment, collectively and singularly through themselves. Is that how you feel, Robin?
Absolutely. And that's only one aspect of what VRD provides.
Yeah. Yeah.
Community, business structure, trying to help you build. I love this program just because, well, we have a specific adoration for Jess, but it's also where the girls, the Design Besties, and I met for the whole first.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we'll talk
Yeah.
about that later, but
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
you.
And we're here with you because you are this year a High Point Market Style Spotter, which is so exciting. You're going to find all
Cool.
sorts of cool new things at High Point to share. And are you doing a tour as well?
I am.
Yeah.
I have a Saturday tour. Not sure when this podcast is
Yeah,
gonna
it's going to go up
before. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So we have a Saturday tour, and I selected two of my favorite brands. I am working with Classic Home and Sunpan. So we're gonna
Fun.
Nice.
Fun. That is amazing. And you know what first of all, I like that these tours are not forever and a day. Like I think that tours can be grueling sometimes. We put them on ourselves. I'm tired after. So I'm sure the designers are tired after. It's a lot of like overwhelm because you're like deep immersed. There's so much to see. There's so much to do. You're on a timeline. It's, that kind of like schedule. But if you're going to do one with someone fun like Robin, I mean, you're going to be having the best time. Just hanging out with you and hearing your little jokes and your fun all day. I think it'll be a lot. I think that's going to be a high energy, fun tour.
Thank you. And piggybacking off what you were saying, I was super intentional. I only wanted to do 2 showrooms so you wouldn't be overwhelmed and you actually
Yeah.
have the opportunity to
That's
I
explore.
smart.
think that was really
That's
smart. I
smart.
love
Yeah.
that. I really thought that was clever idea. I think
Yeah.
I'm not that I don't think that the full day tours are
Yeah,
worth it. They really are worth
absolutely.
it. You're going to get like a fire hose of information and connections with those tours. I love Jeannie Chung's.
Oh,
Jeannie's
yeah.
on our board. We love her. She's amazing. So she's always done a tour that is geared towards profitability for designers. So like little things you can semi customize so that you can own that in your buying process, which I think is a great thing too. But there's all sorts of specific tours. There's antique tours. There's, first time at market tours. We're going to meet a bunch of people who are first time at market. Pick your tour, find the right one for you, but energy and the who's leading it and what you have the capacity to do. Like if you just want to, Robbins would be perfect, but you're also gonna, if you want something just fun, Robbins would be perfect. Those
Yeah.
are things that I think are really valuable. We need to know what we're getting into, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. At
Yeah.
market, you can get the best of all worlds. So
Yeah. Yeah.
choose your poison.
Right. It is. There's almost so much to see. Niall's introverted, so he's always like, after a while, you'll find him in a corner somewhere on his phone,
Yeah.
being like, I'm ignoring
Yeah.
you people. I need a minute to myself.
I gotta recharge. By 3 o'clock, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard you say that about yourself on a podcast. I was like, oh, that's so funny, especially because you connect with so many people on this such a large scale.
He does.
I know it's weird, and I love connecting with people. It's weird. I really do love connecting with people, like genuinely. But if I can't take it all in, like all the time, so I have to like sort of step back and then recharge. I admire people who like Laurie and you who can just go. Like I think one time in my entire friendship with Laurie have I seen her say, and it was like at the end of the day, it was like 11:55 p.m. I'm not even kidding. Have I seen her say, I'm done? And that was like just one time, only one time. And I'm like, really? Now you're done?
There's just so much to do. I do like to be with people a lot. So, and it's like this amazing opportunity this twice a year going to High Point where you get to
Yeah,
like see the faces of people I've talked to online for the last 6
yeah,
months.
yeah,
And, it's just such a real moment when you are in face to face with someone and you get to really see them. I don't know. I hug every single person.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Same.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's so fun. But it can be, I know it is overwhelming for sometimes for some people, especially like first time market can be an intimidating thing. And I get a lot of designers in my DMs like, what should I do if I'm, how will I know anybody? Even people that are fairly close to market, I'm just always a fan of going to the tours. It's your way of getting a whole group of people who you're instantly going to meet
Yeah.
right there. And friendships are made going to these events, right?
That part. That part. That part.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I want to first talk about a little bit about what do you think what's your strategy for finding good finds? Are you going to go, which halls are you going to hit up? Where are you going to go to look for your style spotting finds?
So this is obviously the first time that I've been in this position where like I have to be super intentional about the things that I'm seeking versus just experiencing. But one of the things that I realized just of my past 2 year experience, I kind of stay within a particular area. So because High Point is so big, there's the center area, and then I realized looking at the map, and it was pointed out to me, there's the extended points of High Point that are around us, which I never go to. So I think I'm going to work out and work in. So
Nice.
just so I can,
Yeah. Yeah.
people always see the center.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's there, you know?
There.
So I'm
yeah.
going to try to highlight other things that are outside that people don't normally get to.
Well,
I
that's cool. That's
I
really
think that's
cool.
fantastic. That is a
Yeah,
really sweet strategy because I think that those are the brands that need a little bit of attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes off the beaten path, we forget to go to that. I love that 313 space. I don't know if you're planning on hitting that, but I love that 313 space, right? I mean, so many cool brands in there. It's like eye candy. Like there's just so, and the vibes in there too. It's just, it's kind of like feels like a very New York maker vibes, you know,
Yes.
like creatives and, you know, some really high end brands are there too that you would want to pay attention to. There's outdoor furniture. There is some like Tops and Traders is there. There's a bunch of cool brands, but, and a
Mm-hmm.
mix of them. Like it's textile and jewelry and of high end you know, kitchen brand, high end outdoor brand. It's kind of a mix, but it feels very maker
Yep.
like artisan
Absolutely.
feel.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
they, I think one of my favorite things about 313 is just how thoughtful they were about building this out, and the internal architecture is just, you know, it just grabs you, and, you know, tone for everything else and all the brands that are in there. So it's just beautiful, left, right, up, down.
And you can hang out in there too. There's
Oh
lots
yeah.
of places to sit and hang out and, you know, just if you need a minute away from people, that's also a thing that you can get there. There's a lot of that space too. I have had to like answer calls and found my little space there. But we were talking last time too about how Hooker Furniture has a great outdoor patio space too. That's great for that. Just going outside, getting a little bit of sunshine, you know, a minute to yourself can be hard to find.
Niall can attest to that.
Yeah, yeah. So you gotta find your little
Pocket.
places. What are your tips when you go when someone comes to you and they're saying they're going to market? What do you always tell them to do?
So strategy is actually one of the most important things of market. My first time at market, I just remember tapping into my friends that have the experience and just listening to what they say, because, you know, their experience helps guide you and makes your experience much better. So very thoughtful about your strategy. Download the app. There's so many different buildings. So depending on who you want to see, group all those brands together per building and start in the building and go down your list. So that way you're not running from left to right, from left to right. And it's
Yeah. Yeah.
chaotic.
It is so chaotic. And the app is really helpful in that it can give you actual walking directions,
Yeah.
but where it kind of like where it ends is once you're in the building. If the building is a big building, sometimes it can be a little hard to navigate where you need to be. You know, if you need to ask around, people are I will
Really.
have to. I say two things about hypermarket. The app is really the best there is in our industry for any show. You can get to where you need to go, even walking. And then number two, how nice are the people that work for High Point Market? I am like, are they the nicest human beings
Yeah,
that you've ever met in your
The
whole life?
best.
Like,
super nice.
The,
Yeah.
nice. I
the
don't
best.
know how they find them and how they train them all to be like, "Hi, honey. Good morning." I love it. I was like, this Southern hospitality thing. I just get a kick out of like New England girl me. We just don't get that as much. You know, it's just kind of like keep to yourself kind of people up here. So it's just they're like asking you questions. At first, it was like, are they talking to me? Like, I don't know. I wasn't used to it. But now it's just so fun. They'll make conversation with you. That's from like people in the terminal, people giving directions inside, people scanning your badges, like just the nicest humans, you know, you're going to meet. So, so nice, right?
Yeah, I've actually had conversations with them, and it's one of the things that they look forward to biannually, because they
Yeah.
know they get to experience the world that's in their backyard. They don't necessarily get to see on a regular, and
Mm.
actually enjoy the conversations with the designers because we're from all over the country and the world. So
Yeah, some of
it's
them are
pretty cool.
Wow, that's
teachers
pretty.
or they're firefighters or they're police officers in their real day job, you know, and they're directing traffic or helping people get on a bus. I mean, I've had those kind of conversations too, and it's just so neat. And they get a kick. I think they get a kick out of seeing all of it and seeing all of us and
Hands down.
yeah, and all the
Absolutely.
outfits, because I
Yeah.
mean, come on, the fashion is something to see at High Point. It's not like every other show. People really dress up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's a thing.
it is.
Let's
It is.
clarify that. Style
But
is a thing at market.
it is. But wear comfortable shoes first and
Yeah.
foremost.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If it's a pair of shoes you've not worn before, leave them at home.
Mm-hmm.
Wear your comfortable
Yeah.
shoes. First and foremost, you're going to be doing a lot of walking no matter what, even with the great, shuttle system. You got to get into those buildings and walk around, and there's a million of them with lots and lots of space inside.
Yeah.
You can get lost.
Not the place for red bottoms at all.
No, not
No.
the place for red bottoms. Unless you bring them
Nope.
in your bag to an
Yeah.
event, put them
Yes.
on for the
Exactly.
panel
For the
itself,
for
and
the
then take
yeah,
them off. And
exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
then
That's the way to do it.
Just so everyone's clear, that is actually one of the most second powerful tips. Wear comfortable shoes.
yes,
It's
yes,
so true.
it is so
It's so
true.
true.
And one of the things I really wanted to dig in with you is how High Point can really, as a function of its business gathering, how it can change a person's business, their model, what they're doing for marketing, how they're even the trajectory of what the direction of their business is. Your business has changed a tremendous amount since the first time you came to market, and you've gotten lots of great opportunities from the relationships you've built there. I want to go over some of that with you, and from the start, you started going, and then what happened for you?
Okay, let me be really thoughtful about this answer. I know it, but so many things have happened, so I want to make sure that
Sure.
conscious streamline of thoughts. So, number one, my first intention of going to High Point Market was this is what I learned from business coaching and my designer friends. Again, designing for over 18 years. I only started going to market 2.5 years ago. And the reason that I started going to market was because of what business coaching has taught me. In order for design firms to be really successful, yes, you make money off of your design fees, but to exponentially impact your income, you become the retailer. Instead of sending someone out to West Elm and buying their furniture, and you're only making 10 to 20% off of the markup or the discount, High Point Market is a place where you build relationships with these brands and you are the go-to vendor for your clients. So you're making anywhere from 20 to I'm gonna say 100% profit, depending on what the product is. Um,
And it all balances out. So I
exactly.
just want you to know that I have designers who are 11 people firm.
Hmm.
They're big firms, 12 people firms, 20 people firms. And if they're looking at their numbers at the end of the year, even a big firm like that, their overhead costs, like owning the studio, or renting the studio,
There you go.
salaries, paying all the benefits for the employees. Typically what ends up happening, and I think this also measures down to a design firm that's small, that is a solo entrepreneur, is that your design fee covers your basic like overhead, and that your profit comes from the design for the furniture sales portion of the business. And typically that's the case. I mean, you might be making $1 million profit for some designers, but that is coming from the how you get more money on furniture and not necessarily just on the design fee portion. The design fee portion usually covers your overhead costs, covers your, keeping the lights on, keeping your workspace, that kind of fee structure. Is that what you think too?
Yeah, that's a great clarification of how to look at that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is, so you wanted to go, you were learning that this is where I need to go. I need to increase my profit, which is kind of like, Niall and I have talked about this, and this is just a tangent, right? I just have to say this because Niall and I talk about this offline a lot. It's just a shame that designers get to a point where they are 15 years in the business and don't know that unless they've paid for coaching or unless they've stumbled along the right person, that's the method, right? I mean,
Hmm. Me.
it's
Yeah.
kind of as a shame.
It was when I look at it reflectively, it was I've heard of it, but I was also very intimidated by it. I was like, I'm not
You
going to touch
were.
the world. And then it wasn't until like business coaching really clarified what this is. It made it less intimidating. I was still scared because, it's like doing something for 15 years the same way over and over. And then knowing that there's opportunity out there in a completely different way, but it was big.
Yeah.
Everyone always talks about how chaotic, how big market is, and learning a different type of structure of how to operate your business. It requires a different set of accounting. It requires different staff. It's a lot, but also that said, it's necessary. Well, I found it necessary for myself where I wanted to take my business, which was the next level, because
Right.
I plateaued.
Yeah. 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 So when you did, you took that jump, I
hmm
mean, you jumped in, bravery, happened. And what did you experience? What was that like?
So the other thing, the second thing that I was conscious of was that I was going to be around a lot of peers in a completely exponential measure. Um, I don't think I was ready, or I just didn't anticipate, because I started the industry 18 years ago. If you guys know what it was like 18 years ago, the bottom line is it was not as open of an industry as it is now. But so that said, I wasn't expecting the experience, or I just didn't have any type of measure when I got to market, how open everyone was, how kind everyone was for the most part. Also, how willing everyone was to share their business model, what makes them successful, giving you tips. So that was kind of the turning point of where I truly realized the opportunity of market, which helped change my strategy of what I wanted to do next into market. And that was, I come from a marketing and advertising background. I've always been ambitious and always wanted to do things at a higher level. I knew that message was there for myself when I entered market. My first market was understand this world, what it looks like, and just soak things in. My second market was a completely different strategy. I knew that I have the potential to be a voice. I want to make impact, and I want to help other people with their business the way that opportunity was not afforded to me.
Mm.
My second market was super intentional, where I walked in. I didn't know what this mean, but I walked in. I was like, um, this is the market where I know where I want to go, and it's time to meet the heavy hitters, no matter what that means. And I knew that I wanted to leave market making contacts, and I wanted people to remember my name. And that was the shift of everything and to where it is today for me.
Well, wow, that was very strategic
Smart.
because I think we met then. uh, you know, I adored you from day one. I just thought you were fun and cool. And I think we met at Four Hands, right? Or something like a Four Hands party or something like that.
Yeah, we'll keep it at that. But yes, we met at the Four Hands party.
Yeah, yeah. So but we just had a blast together,
We sure
you and
did.
I. And you have since done some really remarkable things too that I've been paying attention to and being a part of. And that's that you met the Design Besties.
Yes.
So I want to hear about that and how that's impacting your actual design business too.
Okay, okay, all right. So circling back in this and giving credit to Jessica Deuce and Jane Gagne, right before market, my second market was the VRD Summit, the Vacation Rental Designer Summit that Erica Suarez, Jessica Deuce, and Jane Dagme all put together.
Yeah.
So I attended that knowing that I was about to re-strategize what my business is. And that's actually where I met the girls, Whitney Atkinson, Laurie Johnson, Nikki Watson. And Nikki was on a panel. Laurie was there to support Nick for a long time. And Whitney, brand new company, less than a year old. She was there as a sponsor, showcasing her product that she invented called Wugs, which is a weighted rug system. By the way, I just announcing her partnership with Telescope. She got our Shark Tank deal, and it's crazy.
Yay.
That's
Y'all already know.
awesome.
Yay.
Wow.
She's so cool too. I mean, your design besties are just the
Congrats to
nicest
her.
human beings. I
Thank
adore
you.
them. Yeah.
Just really good people.
Good people.
Again, you walk into these situations with hopefully an open mind. You want to connect, you want to learn, and no expectations. You just go. And what ended up happening is like we clicked at the VRD Summit, and then we attended David Cohen's on Saturday, which was our first day into market, and all the girls and I were in there, and that's where we really bonded. And it's an example of how friendships can be formed.
And business partnerships like that's the beginning of a business partnership.
It's the beginning of a business partnership, which we didn't know at that time.
No.
It was all friendship. It was like we really liked each other. What ended up happening was I started a group chat after we all separated. And literally since that day, we have either text, FaceTime, or talked on the phone every single day for the past 2 years. And this April is going to be our 2nd year anniversary of knowing each other at market. So
Wow.
And that's true. I mean, I have been with them. They have all said that that's true. Like they are in constant communication, so much so that their spouses are fully in line with it. They're like, oh, you're talking to them again. It's just like really like they're the go-to for each other, like a very strong support system.
That's
it's
awesome.
it's just think about 4 different entrepreneurial minds, 4 creatives, and 4 people that want to see each other win. So being able to have like your design besties, quote unquote, and lean into them for any type of situation that you're dealing with, it's like it's your own board member.
Yeah.
It's your own
Yeah.
board member.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it. I think that we would be stronger if we all had that mentality of working together. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't
Yeah,
have done this with the community if I didn't think that, but I think it's
absolutely.
really go deeper. Don't be afraid to ask for phone numbers and group texts. I think that I've seen that across the country happen there's lots of designers who've set that up for them, this little support system, and it's amazing what it can do. I even really hyper local. I have, Shelly Hudson in California. She has a group text with 10 designers. Literally, they're in each other's backyard and they talk about literally everything. Like they just put in a bid with a new client. They're like, all right, who's else is bidding for this job, and they share it all. And it's like they're not hurting from it. They're sharing information with
Yeah.
each other and the resources with each other. And it's made every one of their businesses stronger. Now, it does take, and I tell other people this too. Don't go into those kinds of things if you just fully want to be a taker.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
noticed
Yes.
pretty quickly if that's the situation. It's a give and take.
Mm.
You can't just go in and say, I'm picking your brain. Tell me everything about how you're successful. One, I'm putting it out on Instagram soon. And it was a designer in a local area. And she reached out to a designer in her area saying like, I'd like to work for you part-time and learn about how you do your business. I don't want to, and she's like, okay, you want me to pay you to teach you how I run my business so that you can learn that for your business? No, I don't think so. Run that by like that, like thought process a bit, because you don't want to take from someone. If your goal is, and I've had people even say it to us, with the community, they're like, it'll be a product or something. And they're saying like, hey, your audience is my exact audience. Can you sell my thing for me, like to your audience? I'm like, no, that's not how this works. But there is collaboration is sharing. It's about both people having something to add to it, or 4 people in your case having something to add and really wanting the best for each other and really pushing that other person to do things that are helpful for them. And you 4 have done that spectacularly well. You've been an amazing support system to each other.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's really lovely to watch. I mean, I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but when the Design Besties come into the showroom and they're all together, it's a blast. You guys have an energy. You changed. I was in Cheryl showroom for that party, and I'm walking out and I was just like, oh, I'm walking out, and they come in and it's like the whole mood shifts. It's like, oh no, they're here. This is so great. We take pictures. It was the best. And that's a showroom that had puppies.
I know.
Earlier in the day, they had puppies and you were the highlight.
Thank you.
Yeah. So from that moment, you've met these amazing women. You
Mhm.
are immersed in their world. How has that actually impacted your bottom line and what you're doing for your business?
So it's I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into how we came to be.
Sure.
Because it was a real happy accident. Off of what you said, we realized that there's this tangible energy when we're all together, and we didn't think nothing of it until people started pointing it out to us. And
Mm,
attended this thing called we attended this the Haven conference.
Yeah.
Whitney was a sponsor there, and this was a month and a half after we met. And she's like, "Do you guys want to come?" As like we all said yes immediately because we missed each other and we just wanted to hang out. And it was at this conference that people started pointing out. It was like, "Oh, uh, go hang out with the besties. The besties are," open." And they kind of like were nicknaming that to us. By the end of the weekend, we were coined the Design Besties because we were, from the design world. So that's how that came to be. But fast forward, we were like, we should do a project together. We did do social. Whitney had the idea of branding us, putting the Instagram together, and just showing us as collectively. And we decided to do a project together. We were going to do Nikki's backyard. And a month before we got there, Nikki has this huge philanthropic heart. Even before what we're doing, she's been doing this for the past decade plus for the community, Texas, underserved. And literally a month before we go there, she's like, I don't feel good about just doing my backyard. I want to do something more impactful. Would you guys be interested in doing a teacher's lounge? And of course, we all
nice,
immediately said yes.
nice.
Um, what we didn't realize is that she already had this set up in her back pocket. A PTA member reached out to her on Facebook, was asking if she had any free furniture. She asked them to send photos, and she's like, I think I have something better for you. And next thing you know, we were all flying out there a month later to do this one off project, this one off teacher's lounge. Or so we thought. What we did not anticipate was the teacher's emotional reaction to seeing this room that was designed specifically for them. That was one. And number two, we did not anticipate how we were going to react watching them
Yeah.
react to this.
Were
So
there
there was,
tears? Because I'm feeling like there were tears.
oh my God, there were so many tears. It was a little nutty. It was just like, whoa, what is happening right now? It's like we all weren't expecting this. And that is the birth of the Teachers Lounge movement, which is what we've been focusing on in the past year. So bringing this full circle to your original question. So the Teachers Lounge movement is we are now C3. We are working on scaling the Design Besties nonprofit. And this specific focus is we find underserved schools across the nation Title I and give them professionally designed teachers lounges with the understanding of wellness, environment, impact. If we can change a teacher's 5 minutes in this room, if this can affect them positively, we know that there's going to be a domino effect of them being better teachers to their students, the students having better kids for their parents. It's an entire cycle of impact, and that's what we're hoping and trying to do.
I just think
That's
it's
so
beautiful.
amazing.
It's so beautiful. I mean, and you've
I
done
love
that
that.
with school as well,
Thank you. Thank you.
right?
Yeah, we partnered with so when you're starting something, you're trying to get people to buy in.
Yeah.
And we're from the design world. And thankfully, what happened was so we did this project 2 weeks before market, not last October, but the October before. We didn't realize how many people were watching through all of our Instagrams. And when we got to market, people just kept approaching us, talking to us. And what happened out of that? This is the impact of relationships and connecting people at market. Jane Dagme approached us and said, are you guys thinking about doing this again? Mind you, this was only 2 weeks in, and we're like, yes, the answer is yes, but we don't know what
A
that
little
looks like.
tired now, but
And fast forward a year later, she collaborated a partnership between us, Her nonprofit, High Point by Design. If you don't know it, you should know High Point by Design and High Point School Partnerships, which happens to be run by Cyril Jefferson, who's the mayor of High Point, his wife, Raven. And we ended up choosing a school. We did a teacher's lounge makeover in High Point because of the visibility that Jane's power brings and Raven. We had over 20 brands participate, and we only had, this part is crazy to me. I only tallied half of the furniture from the brands because it got overwhelming, but just on half of that alone, we had over $50,000 of furniture donated on
Wow.
half
Wow.
of the brand.
So that's huge. That's
It's
huge.
crazy.
Yeah.
And because of what this has started, these brands want to work with us again. We have other brands approaching us, and it's lining up the opportunity to really scale this and make this bigger.
You know, I'm just coming to this thought, and I'm just
That's
going to throw it out
awesome.
there because I'm always thinking, you know, many of those brands at High Point are also part of Design Edge, and Design Edge travels, so it goes to locations. And I know some of times those brands are getting rid of the things that they don't want to ship it back. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So it's good stuff too. I mean, there's amazing. Obviously, it's just stuff they just showed. So we should talk about that
I
later.
would love to have a separate conversation with you.
Yeah, yeah,
Quick
yeah.
study on that thought
But this is
alone.
how I just I want to do this on air because this is how this happens,
Yeah.
right? Is
That's
someone
yeah.
says something and it makes you think about something else. And we all are in this community trying to help one another, to really lift one another up.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like just putting the right resources together and beautiful things like this are happening. You know, it's
Mhm.
just about you only can hear opportunities. How can I help that opportunity? How can I level that up? How can I build a bridge? And that's how relationships are made. You know, that's how friendships are made. You
Yes.
know, it's by being there for each other. It's somebody saying, hey, I don't know how to find this resource, and you're there for them. And then when you are needing that, to go for that. You have to be willing to give and take, and you
Mhm.
have to be, and I can't stress enough how much it helps your business to do that, and just to have that attitude that less like let things go a little bit,
Yes.
be collaborative, and build off of ideas, you know, because you don't know where it's going to take you. What's coming next for Design Besties? What's the future look like, do you think?
I just want to say something to your point because I don't think people realize or understand their story is going to help someone else. So when shy people don't want to share what's going on with them and the issues that they're dealing with, they have to realize that that piece of information and how you overcame is going to help someone else. And people, your people want to hear your story.
Right. Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah, very true.
Yeah. It's so true. I tell people I'm so thankful for everyone who shares on interior design community all the time
Hmm.
because think of it as an iceberg. And like the people at the top are the people who are visible that you can see. You know, they are sharing on, like they're answering the questions. But underneath, and I have a lot of them, are
Hmm.
too bashful to say anything because they're afraid clients might see it or whatever. They get so as much from it, if not more. And so I'm constantly thinking, like, how can I serve the unseen people as well as I'm serving the seen people? You know, and I want to do that. I want if you're just coming onto Interiors like Design Community and reading the articles or looking at the Instagram or laughing over things, that's totally fine. I don't care how you interact with it, but I am very grateful for the people who donate their time really to help another human being in a crisis who needs help from them. You have no idea behind the scenes how grateful those people are to get answers. And a lot of times it's just like confirmation that you're doing the right thing.
Yep.
It's like, okay, yeah, that's the right way to handle it. And then you feel a boost of confidence in your own thought process because other people you respect agree with how you want to handle this situation. And we all get situations sometimes that we're like, I don't know how to handle this. This is a weird, you know what I mean? This is an odd situation and I don't know what to do.
There have been countless times that I've read people's input on one of the questions, and I know that I'm handling it a particular way just from my experience. But I'll read something, I was like, "Ooh, that's way better to handle it than the way that." Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's some really smart people who are
Yeah.
Going in, and I always think it's amazing when like a super design icon comes in and they're
Uh-huh.
posting, because I will tell you, it's not because I think that, oh, we should all be like, oh my gosh, this icon spent time on our page. That's so wonderful. But really, it's because I think what it does for the designers who are starting out is like, oh, okay. Like if she goes through that too,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a me problem. I'm not just sucky at this and I don't know how to handle this. This is like just really everybody goes through this.
Yeah.
Everybody has that happen to them. You know, I have had major celebrity designers come in and say, "Don't you hate it when they ask you for free advice and then they don't even take it, the advice that then you give them?" Like those kinds of things, or business related questions. You know, the byproduct is that it doesn't matter how famous you are. It doesn't matter how high end your clients are. We're dealing with human beings and we're going to have stressors that go around with emotion. I mean, this is a very emotional process to do
Mhm.
renovation or construction of your home, especially for residential. It's your actual living space. You live there. That is personal. It's not going to not be personal.
Yeah.
So it's lovely that you all are so, I'm always, that's why I've never made it a cost thing,
Oh,
is
yeah.
because how can I ask you to pay when I'm asking you to also give for free? I
Yeah.
have to be able to do the same, right? So that is how I see it. I mean, I think we should be sharing information for free. We should be, this shouldn't be pay to play everywhere. You know, there, if it's not, there are some great coaches out there. There are also some not so great coaches out there. And it's like, it gets to a point where you're like pay to play for everything, you know? And I feel like designers get nickel and dimed a lot, you know? And it's, I wanted to be not that, you know, it's somebody advocating, not trying to make my living off designers, you know? I feel like you guys get enough.
And that is exactly why people love IDC. That is
But I
exactly
do
why.
think like it's important for you to share with each other and build these relationships. And I loved seeing that magic happen for you, that you came in, you had a mission, you had a strategy, you followed that up, you sent the text message that connected these people together. That helped keep it going. You have to kind of grab these opportunities where you get them,
Yeah.
you know, or you're not furthering it. You're getting, you're stopping. It could stop, it could have stopped right there. We had a great time. I guess I'll see them next year, right? It could have been that situation, but you maintained it.
Follow up and follow through is a very key element of advancing your network and
Mhm.
growing and expansion.
Yeah. That's your superpower. It
Yes.
really is. I've gotten follow-up emails from you. They're
Thank you.
very detailed.
Thank you. That's how you find your people.
It is. It is. And you know, you do find your group of people who love you and care about you. And these are genuine. They're like, they can start online, they can start in
Hmm.
person at a tour, they can start at a trade event, they can start in an association. There are so many resources for interior designers. But the thing is, you do have to, you get what you put in.
You got to put in effort. Yeah.
You do. You do. You've got to put in the effort and you've got to put in the time and you got to find your people. Like not, you're not going to click with every single person, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
You know, that's not, it doesn't mean that they're not great people too.
Yeah.
You know, they might be great people for someone else, you
Exactly.
know, and they click with their group and you click with your group, and that's okay too. But you got to find your group. You got to find who you click with. And that takes a minute. It's not an instantaneous thing. You lucked out
I
with
know.
meeting these amazing people right away. But that doesn't happen always. Sometimes you're more introverted. I mean, Niall and I just kind of found each other randomly, and it was like followed him, he followed me. We were like I liking each other's work, memes and stuff like that. It just connected and we here we are. I mean, I consider him like family, you know? So it's just it takes a minute.
Yeah.
It takes finding your person that you care about and that you trust and that you know has your back and wants good for you and
Yeah.
cares about you as a person, you know, truly. Because we're more than just being designers and in the design industry. We're more than that. We're human beings that are have our own thing going on, and it could have numerous layers to that. And so you've got to find somebody that you connect with on that deeper level, I think.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
Yeah. And how much has it changed? Think about that first time you came to High Point versus what it's like when you go now with all the relationships you've built? What is that difference?
I don't even know how to appropriately answer this. It has made the most incredible impact. I think because people were seeing what we were doing with as the Design Besties and the forward movement for good, and then people in the industry experiencing us as humans, it has all of us collectively, it has opened up opportunities for us. Like, I'm now the style spotter, that started off with me sitting
Well,
in.
they saw, here's why, what they're looking for. I can tell you because I know those people. They
Do
are
tell.
looking for are you going to show up? Are you going to really do the things that we need to do? And so they do kind of have to have a little bit of a history, that you are a person who says what you're going to do what you say you're going to do, and that you have a point of view, right? And High Point really cares about that. So I would bet, you're doing your volunteer work showed them the level that you follow through and your point of view, your design point of view. So it made it an easy call for them to select you
Hmm.
as a style spotter because they knew you were a known entity who really, they already know the level that you follow through with your commitments. And that's hard. You can't always guess that. So that's why you have to kind of come in and be active
Yeah.
before you would apply. If you apply, let's just say you applied day one, your first time at market, you might not have gotten response
Mm-hmm.
that now because you're a known person, you're a person who has executed and delivered. And that, I mean, it doesn't take. Do you feel like you were able to accomplish most of what you did because of yourself? Or did you feel like not to mean you didn't have like help with resources, but you had to put in the work. You couldn't expect a PR agency to do it or somebody to do it for you. You had to put in the work to build those relationships.
I know that I know I am where I am at today because of my own efforts and how I want to be and how I want to move around the world. It doesn't mean that like that I don't need help, but the relationship building, that's me knowing how to do that. That's me putting myself out there. That's me wanting to make genuine connections to further my career. And I know that's like an innate skill set within myself.
Right. Some people think it's very pay to play. I mean, they do. They think that there's a pay to play scenario to get on a panel, to go to be part of style spotters, to be seen. You don't need to.
No,
You can go directly to, if you have an idea that you think would help other designers, and that's the key, is you can have something that's going to be of value to the audience, not just yourself.
Mhm.
Like I'll get people who come to me and say, I want to be on a panel. And I will tell them Niall knows about what? About what? That's going to be my next question. And you have to have an answer to that. Like, what do you want to teach other people that is valuable to them? It's not, I want to be up there so that I get a picture of myself on the chair talking. Like, so I can put that on Instagram. Like, it's fine if that's an accomplishment, but to get it, you need to have something you can deliver to someone else. I
Absolutely.
always think when we do panels, like I want the audience to have actual takeaways that they can implement tomorrow. I want at least 3 that are like, they've got that, they can roll with it tomorrow and they can do it, for them. And if you're not trying to do that at every panel, like what is in it for the audience? What is in it for them? They should be the most important person in the room, not the people on the panel. Like what are they going to get out of this? Because they've taken the time to sit here and listen to you. It better be worth their while. Like they better be getting inspired or they're
Mm.
learning something, a system, a process that will help their business tomorrow. And that's just the
Exactly.
way I see it. But when you're thinking, how do I get this spotlight? Think also how you serve others, right?
You should. I kind of feel like that's the way that you should move. That should be your first thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it should. Yeah, it
How
should.
can I help someone
It
else?
sounds like I just think people see it and they're like, how do I get that? And it's this mystery to them. They don't connect those dots of how can I be of service to others?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And that's where it comes from. It's like, I always saw before even Niall and I showed up and became our podcast, I saw him helping other people all the time. Just witnessed it. Didn't, just noted it. Like, he is always helping other people behind the scenes. And he still does. I mean, Niall, you're always in DMs. People come to you all the time with problems, just like they do for me. And you are constantly a helper behind the scenes to others. And I saw it. I clocked it, saw it, and was like, he's a good person, the kind of person that I think people want to work with,
I would also like to take this moment and give Niall his flowers. Before I actually even met Niall or knew who he was, I was at one of my friend's house in New Jersey, and I knew she had an interior designer. So we were no, actually, I did not know she had an interior designer. We were going there for her son's birthday party. And when I was walking around the house, I was like, whoa,
You can tell it's designed first. That's the
professionally
first
done.
thing. You can tell it's professionally done. And then you're like, who is your designer?
Not only can you tell that it was professionally done, it was flawless.
Yes.
From the artwork to the wallpaper to the bathroom. I was like, who's your designer? This S is fly.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I was like, hey.
Project. I talk about it all the time. I loved working on that project. It was so much fun. It really was.
And that's another thing.
You don't get those like that often. So
No, you
you
should listen to your designer, because if you do listen to them, that's what the result can be.
She
Yeah.
trusted this.
She did. I mean, they both did implicitly. It was like to a point where it was scary, because it was like I would show them things and she'd be like, "Okay, continue," and I'd be like, "What?" And she'd be like, "Yep, next room," and I'd be like, "Okay," and then I would show her the next room. She's like, "Great, next room," and I'd be like, "What?" So it was like, it was the best. It truly was. It really, really was.
And by the way, one of the rugs that was too big for one of the rooms is actually at my house upstate. So I was like, I got a Niall. I got a Niall selected piece.
So it's trickle down effect. Niall's design is everywhere. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Rhobin. This has been so fantastic. And I hope that the listeners are getting a lot of helpful tips about how they can navigate market, and hopefully encouraging them, if they haven't been, to make that leap, come to market and really see what it's about. Also, now you know people. You know me, you know Niall, you know Rhobin, you know Juliana from the last time. Like, some people. Hook up with us. DM us ahead of time. See where we're going to be. And you don't have to be alone. We're not scary, I promise.
No, not at all. Not in the least.
Yeah,
we don't bite.
Niall might be a little scary, but all right. Well, thank you so much. This has been fantastic. Thank you. And we'll make sure everyone follows you everywhere.
Thank you. You guys are the best.
This episode is brought to you by Curry & Company. Designers, you know the moment. You walk into the room and the lighting stops you in your tracks. Chances are it might be Curry. Curry & Company has built its reputation on pieces that feel sculptural, collected, and timeless, from hand-finished chandeliers to statement lamps, furniture, and accessories. Their collection is top-notch. If you haven't explored their newest introductions, take a look. Visit curryandcompany.com,